Alrighty, she's spooling up. Should be fixing to go live here. Hopefully there pretty soon. Internet's running a little slow. Hey, I already got the notification. So here we are,
Yep,
Patriots.
I'm up.
Welcome to Thursday's live stream. Eagle 2 here, and we've got all kinds of folks filling up the screen this morning, or this evening. Sorry about that. If you guys are new to us, Prepared Patriot, we are a training company in North Carolina. And if you're in the surrounding areas, we'd love to have you. We specialize in firearms training, medical training, and general preparedness. So let's see. We got the rundown. We got old Patrick Woods, Eagle One, with us. We got the Bald Eagle, Jerry Gooch. We've got Doc Ron. He's in the house. Oh, it gives us the wave there. And our guest this evening, Max Lizana. He was just down taking a medical class with us all the way from behind enemy lines in Pennsylvania. So
Hey.
it was a pleasure having Max. We got to spend a shit ton of time with him this weekend, picking his brain. He's a wealth of knowledge and a student of the martial lifestyle, that's for sure. So it was awesome to Max can make it down. So really quickly, if you guys are interested in taking the class with us, I'll just hit the high points real quick. We got our version of concealed carry coming up on August 21st. We got Prepared Pistol 1 on September 12th. That's a Sunday date. We've got Prepared Pistol 2. That's October 17th. That may be a Sunday as well. And then Patrick's going to be doing a bug out bag / preparedness class in October. That's October 30th. So there's your dates. Check us out at Prepared Patriot NC across the socials. And this is the part every week I dip out and we let somebody else take over. So welcome and thanks for watching, guys.
So we got Matt.
Looking at the live stream.
We got Mike the Clown in the house. What's up, John Kranz? So
John Kranz.
I think to start with, we'd like to congratulate Ron on his first.
Dip out and we let somebody else.
We'll let Matt turn his audio down there.
Good. Sorry, man. That was my phone. Gets me every time.
So we'd like to congratulate Ron on a successful run of Prepper Med. It was awesome. I think if you left there without learning something, you are not paying attention. It was a fantastic class. We're super stoked that he's with us and running that. It's going to be a truly great asset for our company, and we're going to tweak it and make it even better every time that it runs. So we're excited about that. Yeah, Mike's saying great class, Doc. I think Mike enjoyed it. Almost everyone who was there had nothing but rave reviews to say. So it's pretty cool that that Doc did such an awesome job on a first run class. That's hard to do, man. It takes a lot of time and a lot of dedication, and the hours behind the scenes to put something together like that is tough. Also, I'd like to jump on here since we got a couple people that are on here right now. Thanks very much, Tactical Bits, for the assist in class. Prepper Med wouldn't have been as great as it was without the help of all the great people in our class that helped out and helped run some of the stations and did some of the things. And also, thanks a lot to Kish. God, why could I not think of his head? Man, sometimes my brain's just fried. We've been going through class prep before all this for like 2 hours and all kinds of personal things. So, but my brain's a little fried tonight, guys. But thanks, Kish, man. The butts were awesome. Like Mill was top notch, dude. We appreciate you as well. It was awesome. All right. Anybody else want to comment on Prepper Med? Max was there. Max, what would you say to the crowd?
I think it was an amazing class. I mean, it touched on points that I had seen before, but in a lot of cases in different ways, which is awesome. I learned completely new skills, which was kind of the whole point of the thing. Ariel was a rock star with the IV stuff. She even showed a Mongoloid like me how to do it with my meat puppets. And yeah, it was a great class, great people. I mean, for first run of class, I do not think you could ask for anything more. I mean, really. Everything, and the other thing too is like everything stayed on time, which is really hard not get into the weeds, even though I kept asking Doc Ron questions to distract him. He fielded all the questions, kept everything moving. Even the wrap up went smooth. I mean, it was awesome.
So we always do a kind of post class conversation. Anytime we do a first run class, we always powwow afterwards and we kind of see, hey, how could we have done things better? And that was one of the things that you just hit on there that I didn't compliment Ron enough on whenever we were talking about this, is his time management. That is a really, really difficult skill, even for a seasoned instructor. And the way that you kind of kept that class on point the entire time, that was awesome, dude. Like it's hard to do that as a, kind of new instructor. It's kind of tough sometimes to keep that moving. And it's so hard not to get lost in questions because everybody has questions.
Well,
especially in such a complicated class like that,
Yeah, I prefaced that, and when we first started, I was like, "Hey, we'll have time. We'll have a section set aside for that." And then I kind of let that slide, and then was answering the questions, and there was no question that was asked that was not a perfect question to be asked, because when students were like, hey, can you just clarify this? What order are we going to do this in? And, like we talked about earlier, this is probably the first time people have heard the ABCs, airway, breathing, circulation, because most of the time it's, oh yeah, we got to look at the extenuating hemorrhage first and then do the ABCs. So, when we prefaced that, I kind of wanted to lay it out there. Hey, this seems safe. You're not going to have to worry about the bad guys. You're not going to have to worry about somebody coming around the corner and trying to stab you in the back. So, that with the 5 Bs and taking care of the bad guys and everything first is going to be a different rendition of the class. It was just trying to get skills that people aren't going to be able to see and aren't going to be able to go to just a standard class and get their hands on and start learning didactics. But I think every question that was asked of me, I thought was a pertinent question, because some students needed that extra, hey, where are you coming from? And I was glad.
And this is also hits on another point, that it's really hard when you're talking about a whole career of knowledge that you're trying to shrink down and give people a slice of. And it's really difficult sometimes. And this is why, we can't teach you. I heard James say one time, who was one of our mentors at Tactical Response, who said, if you try to teach them everything, you will teach them nothing. Yeah. And I think that's the best way to look at this class. Like, you really get a huge jump in your knowledge base in that class, but you can't teach everything. Like, there's only so much you can get into. So great job for you as well, weeding out and really getting down to the nitty gritty for people. So they really got the important parts, but was only, there was no way of getting around. There's going to probably be a second rendition and a second class to go with this, because there's no way to fit it all. There's no way. Guys, I see a lot of names coming on the board here. Kevin, what's up, man? Richard L., how y'all? What's happening, guys? If y'all will, since there's quite a few people here watching out, please share the link, hit the like or down button, whichever, and try to get this out so more people can be watching it. We appreciate that. The more people we get watching, the more we share the knowledge, the more we share the classes, the more the business grows, and the more we can help our Patriots back home. What's up, Brad Banker, as well? I saw you on here. He also asked Matt, where's the beard? I know, right? Like, homeboy needs his beard back.
Absolutely.
It was so much better. I'm just saying.
Beard or beard?
Beard.
He's a water anyway. I've been on a no sugar thing for almost 3 weeks now. So
he's joining the no alcohol crowd at this point.
Yeah.
Evan Dixon commented, really enjoyed the class. Brian,
that's where the beard is. That's where the beard is. It's between Evan, you, and Max. You guys got to cover it. I don't have to have one.
More beard is better.
And then John just said, nobody learns when you're hit with a fire hose of information. And the problem is, like, every class can be like that if you don't know a lot. You know what I mean? You got to make it simple enough that anyone can learn it, but also understanding there's so much to learn in that area. Like you said, it's a whole career, you know.
Well, and we've all benefited from repeating classes from time to time, and that's why we set it up with our classes that you can repeat them for half price, you know. And every class we do, I feel like, is a ton of information, you know. And so you got to take out of it and then use it and make it meaningful to you so you don't forget it.
Yep. And there you hit on it again, practice. You have to practice, which reminds me, if you guys were in the class and you did not see the after class email, we sent out links of all the different materials that we use. You guys can go on there and click the link. You can help support the business. We get like very little from that, but it is something. And you can pick up all those different training tools and stuff that we recommended in class. You can pick all that up right there. The other websites are also listed. The Tactical Medic, you can pick up a lot of gear from him. And then Live Action Safety, is that the other one?
Yep.
Max, I think that's right. But we posted, again, all that's listed in the links in the email. So you guys feel free to go on there and check that out, and it will help you with your practice at home. And then always take the class again. If you get the opportunity to get back in there and do the practical section again, it's well worth it to get hands-on again.
And if the first run was that good, it's only going to get better. And that's just a fact.
Yeah, we always hope that everyone who comes and repeats a class feels like it was, holy smokes, is this a different class? Because you can, you know, as we've been in it for a couple of years now, there's a couple classes that are the way they're kind of going to be. Like we're not changing a whole lot in our comprehensive carry class, in our prepared pistol 1, 2 class. It's just they're tweaks at this point. And really, like, this class at a first run was so good, I don't even see a whole lot of tweaks happening. There's going to be some minor things, but man, it was really good right off the bat. Congratulations on a well-run class, Ron. You did an awesome job, man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It was kind of hard to sift the info down and to get it into a format to where, I mean, there was just so much information that I wanted to bring forth and put out there. But, you know, just like John said, you know, there's information overload, and a lot of people would just been like, holy crap, this is over my head, and I don't really want to jump in that deep, and this is really necessary. And so I struggled. I did try to get it trimmed down to give just enough information to give a little bit of history about the different things that we were doing and the practicality of it. So, and I like, you know, we've already discussed, you know, what our next step or our next rendition in the class would be. And you know, even when we've been talking, I've been fielding some ideas about what I would like to do and some other skills and skill set things that might come in handy.
I think it's going to be awesome. I will definitely be at the next one. I would also like to point out that you did such an amazing job on the medicine section of that.
Yeah.
Like, to me, the whole class was worth the medicine section.
Yep.
Like, just that one section, the whole class was worth that to me.
Yep.
And you hit it. Here's the thing. You could take that one section and spend the entire class doing that one section. It's such a huge thing, but man, you hit that so well out of the park. Like, it was perfect the way it was addressed, and I loved it. It was awesome.
Just, you know, it was information that it could have been mundane if we just sat there and we went through each thing. But I figured, hey, you know, we've got bigger fish to fry. We put the information out there. Everybody can read it on their own. And like I kept trying to emphasize, you got to individualize your preps, your stockpiles based on you and your family, your loved ones, medication or medical needs. And so, hey, you know, and in that article, like I said, she did a phenomenal job by presenting, hey, these are 7 antibiotics. And if you want to be more economical, let's cut it to 5, 4, and eventually down to 3 antibiotics, which I think, you know, like I said, 90% of the incidences that can be treated out there with those 3 antibiotics. And so that's in a prepper mindset, you know, I want to do as much as I can with the minimal funds that I have. Where do I get my biggest bang for the buck? And that's what.
And that's what you've heard me say that all the time. Do the best you can with what you got, where you're at, right? Like
Right
that's as good as you can do, man. And that's awesome. I love that class. I think it was great. If you guys missed out on that class, it probably, I'm going to say it might be a bi-yearly to yearly class. So it'll be coming around again. Just keep your eyes peeled on the schedule at preparepatriotnc.com and you can check it out there. We will post it again, probably in the next year, I'm thinking, if Ron will so graciously come back and teach it again.
Oh yeah.
The good news is the hard part's done. Now we're tweaking and making perfection. So it's really easy the second time around. The hard part's developing it.
And I even hear that Recon's orders on their Gen 4 tourniquets have gone up since last Saturday.
No kidding. Who told you that?
Yeah. I mean, I know for a fact, I know there's 5 new Gen 4s floating around just from people that were in the class.
It was funny because I'm seeing people in the class ordering stuff as they go. Right. That was what was hilarious because I'm sitting in the back of the class and I get to see the whole deal, right? From end to beginning, I get to see everybody. And I'm watching people like you'd say something that was just so good. They would be like, nah, I'm getting that right now. I'm not even going to miss out on that. And they just went ahead and ordered stuff before they even left the class.
And
awesome.
Max was sitting right there. And as soon as I would say something, he'd pull it up and he'd say, yeah, it's like $14 on Amazon. Or it's like $12 and so-and-so. And I'm like, thanks, brother. I mean, hey, you got it, Roslo, man.
Wait. Where is it? Hold on. I got a whole bag of these things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
Nice. He was one of them. The Amazonians beat you to your house, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
And in addition to that, Max and I floated by I had to make a pit stop at Tractor Supply, and we found some stuff in there that we didn't even use in class. You know,
it was basically like stuff to help horses heal their cuts faster.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Now there's a whole section there you could have seen there of antibiotics that they have.
They weren't there.
They weren't.
We looked for it.
We didn't find it, but what we did find was some of the stretch wrap and some super clot, and
which was cheap,
like real cheap. And we weren't even looking. I actually went to pick something else up, and it was there. So
and like that, I think E1 found that gallon of betadine there as well, and it was like, was it like $14 or something for a whole gallon? Did we lose it?
Y'all, the comments are freaking out of control. Right now, Mike's talking about eating Kish's meat, and like Ariel's having to get on him, down boy. Like it's pretty funny. What were you saying? You asked me a question.
I said, yeah, you even found like the gallon of betadine over there that was relatively inexpensive. I thought, was it like $14?
It was $20 for 32 ounces. However, I finally found some on Amazon that is like a gallon for less than that.
Yeah.
So look on Amazon. It's actually cheaper than you can even get it at Tractor Supply if you find the right mixture and the right seller. I think it was like about the same price for a whole gallon.
Hey, post that link. Seriously.
I will. You want me to post it after class or in an email to everybody?
No, post it in the alumni group. That way everyone can have access to it.
I'll do it. I'll find it and post it in alumni after we get off here. Also, big shout out to Kevin, man. Kevin, thank you so much. You and Max for getting the bulk buy together and helping out. I know Matt picked up a bunch of those. So we're appreciative that y'all were able to get together on all that and do a big buy. It was awesome. If y'all don't know, Kevin is kind of like the recon guy. He's the one that you go to. Kevin, did you happen to see the post that Matt did about the big brake sticks, the glow sticks? I have a video on it. I'm going to post it on YouTube at some point, and I'll tag you in it.
And in the video, it looked like way brighter. It looked like a Simpsons nuclear rod.
Lightsaber or something.
Crazy.
So I do have a question, Kevin, if you're still on here, brother. Me and Max were talking. There's one thing that we noticed that we're not sure about. The Recon, so the glow sticks are freaking awesome, right? But the end cap on them comes off. Why does the end cap come off? Because, I mean, if you wanted to signal with it or do some, like hanging in a tree, that end cap, I could see how it could be beneficial, like if you're hanging it from a tent and you want to pull it and take it with you. But putting it back on there, like, what would you – I don't understand why that comes off. So John says, Max, it's a very fun class. The girls really absorb the information. Plus, the tank tops and yoga pants don't hurt. Oh, Mike, you're just gross, man. Mike says you can have it all till next class, Ariel, talking about Matt's meat.
I think John's comment was in relation to a class that he talked about he's going to be teaching soon.
Yeah, I read it.
Yeah.
I read
Okay.
it. He's doing an all-girls class, and he's doing a combo of all kinds of good stuff in that class.
Yeah, man.
The problem with that, Franz, is like that's a like each one of those is a separate class.
That's ambitious.
That's getting all that down into one day, man. You got your hands full, bro. That's a lot. Good for you. If you figured out how to do that, though, like you give them a little bit of everything all in one class. That's pretty good.
Ariel, they should be wearing belts and pants.
Oh, get them.
Ariel, yoga pants with belts. You have a pair.
Unless they're running an Enigma. I need one of y'all to try that damn Enigma so I can figure out if it's worth recommending to people.
I think it's perfect for you.
I know that Evan runs it.
Yeah.
Evan runs it and says it's pretty good. I'm actually excited that Green Force might be doing a version of it made out of titanium. That might be even better. So we'll have to wait and see what's up. But I'd like to get some feedback from more than a couple that tell me it's, hey, you should do that. Because I think it has a place.
Hey, you should do that.
Who, me?
You're looking for feedback. I'm just giving you feedback. Yeah, you should do that.
Oh, you have one?
No.
You're just telling me I should buy one so that you can have feedback? Is that what you're telling me?
So Max, how's life been since you returned from your vacation?
Well, I'm able to walk through my to my car without having to swim through the humidity. Which is nice. But yeah, the return to real life is, get back and spend the entire day fixing all the mistakes everyone else made, the usual. Trying to, but I did tell them, listen, you fuckers, I can cut you, I can let you bleed out, stitch you, and then put an IV in you, so be able to watch your fucking ass.
That is not medical advice.
Yes, it is.
It puts the lotion on, or it gets the hose.
The beatings will continue until morale improves.
Yeah.
So
Max,
Jerry, you go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to ask Max, what's the coolest piece of gear he's picked up since I saw him?
Probably these things. These things are awesome. Those oral airway things.
There you go.
Although I couldn't hold my daughter down long enough to use it, but what are you gonna do?
Remember, she's got to be unconscious for that one, bro.
He said it's his daughter. Debatable.
It's whatever.
Gotcha.
And this is when Ron says, "Yeah, I'm not teaching that class anymore." It's the end of that.
I prefaced that semi-conscious to conscious for the nasal, unconscious for the oral. So I'm in the clear.
Richard L's got a question in the feed there.
Yeah.
Richard,
Well, that's what I was about to say.
Go for it.
Go ahead and read that, and then Jerry can chime in on what he was telling me today.
All right. So this question for medical personnel: have you guys been hit with a letter from your company or employer saying you will get the vaccine or be fired yet?
And then before we comment, Jerry, you want to tell them about what you heard today and what our dictator governor said?
I'm not a big fan, but knowing what was going on, and so many schools have been making decisions and whatnot, and I knew he was making that announcement, so I listened to it. And he literally said, For those of you that got the vaccine, take your frustrations out on those who have not gotten vaccines and basically harass your family and friends.
If you are not outraged by the actions of our North Carolina government at the moment, I don't understand. Like, if you believe in freedom, anti-tyranny, like this goes back as much as like the witch trials at this point. It's like, man, anybody can just, it kind of goes back to the whole red flag laws, right? Why everybody was so upset about that. Anybody can say anything and just make you all of a sudden a criminal, right? So when did we lose okay, here's my next problem. I had this conversation with my wife, and I don't want to get into the weeds about abortion or other things like that. This is not really a political channel per se. But how can you in one corner of your mouth say, it's my body, my choice?
Exactly.
And then out of the next side of your mouth say, you're going to take this fucking vaccine or else. You're not going to be able to work. You're not going to be able to go on vacation. You're not going to be able to do anything. How can you have those two contrasting sides and have any form of sanity?
Well,
because they don't care about sanity. It's a power grab.
I really want you guys to, and I'm sure you can find it, go and listen just to the way he said it. I'm telling you, I'm going to go ahead and draft a letter to Mark Robinson because, he's all 2A for us. But in essence, Cooper was insinuating, go out and fight these people. As much as anything that happened on January.
Yeah, he was basically saying, pick a fight, take your aggression out on those that are not vaccinated. Here's my next question. How do they know who is and is not vaccinated if we're still following this whole HIPAA law
video?
They're I'm sorry, what?
Nothing, sorry, go.
How do you get by that whole HIPAA law thing where my personal health information is none of your fucking business?
Okay.
We can be fined as practitioners. Like I can be fined if I give personal information. It's a big deal. Like if I tell something to somebody else, it could be my ass and my license, but it's okay for them to know my health information.
So certain entities under that can ask, per se, just as an example, if I was, public schools are one of them, they can ask their employees, have you been vaccinated? But but
my answer can be none of your fucking business.
Exactly. Yep. And that's where people going to have to remember that, because when they're asked, their first thing is they're going to say, well, that's a HIPAA violation. Well, it's not if they're those certain entities. But the individual has the right not to answer it. And where they're going to have to be really careful is making sure they're documenting, hey, they asked me this. Oh, well, coincidentally, 2 weeks later, I was fired or, something happened. And that's where we're going to have to pull those strings. Because them just asking is not necessarily a violation.
Well, and then correct me if I'm wrong, because you guys are smarter than me. I mean, by a long part. Was there not just released in the last year from the CDC statements saying, if you have been vaccinated, you can still pass the virus. If you have been vaccinated, you still need to wear the mask. If you have been vaccinated, it's not going to say that you can't catch it again. Did y'all not hear all this same shit from the CDC and from
here's
other
the part too.
Information entities?
The vaccine, if the vaccine they developed is for the variants they had in place 6 months ago, and now it's the new Delta variant, then the vaccine is not going to be effective against the new version, or may not be effective against the new version. So
you guys that have much more medical experience than I do, you need to listen to the, what is it? AEI, antibody enhanced infection. The actual guy that developed the mRNA vaccine, I was watching a video on him talking about that. That is far worse than You know, people getting this vaccine and then getting sick are really suffering hard. You know, and I'm not telling you, you do you. If you want the vaccine, get the vaccine. If you don't want it, don't get it. Don't force either of those down my throat. You know, that's my take on it.
Back to Max's comment, I saw something the other day where Pfizer's already pushing a booster vaccine,
Yeah,
that's supposed to help with, additional immunity for the Delta variant.
And again, let's back up and say, I don't care one way or the other what the fuck you do. Like, if you want the vaccine, rock it out. Like, have at it, man. Go for it. But I am 100% against someone telling me what I have to take or what I have to do. I don't feel like it's anyone's responsibility but my own. And I think that's the thing that our fucking society is missing. Responsibility. It's your responsibility for your health. It's your responsibility to know the law. Nobody expects you to know, it comes down to the point where it's like, not every one of us ever gets the education on every single law, correct? But you know the law. You know what's right and wrong, what you get in trouble for and what you won't. It's the same thing with your health responsibility. You can read, hey, this is what might happen if you get this. And hey, this is what might happen if you don't. It's your personal decision to take either direction. That's my thing.
They don't want personal responsibility, because personal responsibility means that you're not dependent.
Okay,
And
so
you're empowered.
Read Ariel's.
Ariel just said, I had a conversation and told someone I believe in choice, to which they responded, if they're making the right choice, that was the end of it for me. Absolutely. And again, it comes back to that same, and again, it comes back to this whole same conversation that we were just having a second ago. Like, you can't say 1 minute, my body, my choice, and then come around and tell me that you get to decide what goes in other people's body. That's not how that works. I am 100% against the liberty and self-independence of people. I don't need the government telling me shit. I don't need the government's help. Like, that's not what they're there for. They're there to protect me from foreign entities. And when they lose that, that's when they start to step over the bounds.
But that's the problem.
There is a place for what government should and shouldn't do. And if you read the Constitution, I think it lays that out pretty easy.
Agreed.
This is what you're supposed to do. This is what you're not supposed to do. Don't fucking do that.
Cran said, here's my thing. If you want me to carry a vaccine card, then I expect you to wear a red pin if you have HIV, a yellow pin if you have TB, a green pin if you have hepatitis. When does it end? Well, it doesn't with that, but we're not going to require you to have ID to vote.
Yeah, that's even more fucked up. God, thank you for hitting on the same shit. It's like, you got to do all this, but no, we can fuck up an election. It's ridiculous. So again, it comes down to, and what John just said, it's like, yeah, you need to do this and have this. And I, as a medical professional, Ron, and you too, Matt, are y'all, and again, don't hear me this as playing down COVID. I know it's legit. There is a COVID virus. I'm not debating that with people. But there's so many other things that I'm fucking way more terrified of as a healthcare provider. Like C. diff. Why don't y'all try some of that on for size and see how you like that shit? And then, HIV, that's pretty serious shit that could probably end in death as well, right? So again, it comes back to this. Why is it all of a sudden we have this hugely crazy response with the government, whereas in the medical community, this would have never happened? And this is what I tell people as well. The problem with this virus is the government got involved. If you left this completely to the medical community, it would have been handled so much differently, and it would have not been the same reaction. Do you guys agree or disagree?
Agreed.
Agree.
It's a power grab. It's an opportunity for a power grab.
And so when the government becomes involved, there's tried and true treatment platforms, antiviral treatment platforms that have been used in foreign countries, i.e. Africa, for years, anti-malarial drugs that Max and I had discussed during the class. that when the government got involved, these physicians were gagged. They were threatened with loss of their licensure and their privileges if they even prescribed those medications or even discussed those medications. And so once again, here you go. You've got somebody sticking their fingers in basically to say, hey, you need to depend upon us to take care of you. We're going to keep you safe. We're going to provide you a vaccine, and you need to come to Big Brother. And didn't allow these physicians to try and utilize these alternative methods of treatment, which have since then been shown to be just as effective in treating patients with COVID and or preventing contraction thereof, but they're still not allowed to prescribe them.
Well, it's also, I'm 100% behind everything you just said, but I think also on the political aspect of things, and if you look at it, it's all again been set to divide. It's dividing the country, and it's doing so very effectively right now. Even people that we consider friends, man, you can have a conversation with these people that goes south quickly.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, people that we like, that we're friends with, that we could agree on 90% of the conversation, and it gets to that, and it's like, holy fuck, atomic bomb.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I'm 100% behind what Ariel just said. It all comes down to personal responsibility. No excuses. And it's the same thing for everything. If you're diabetic, it's your personal responsibility to take care of yourself. It's not everyone else's. If you're overweight, it's your responsibility to get off your ass, be on a diet, fix the problem. Like, it's not anyone, nobody else is going to do the shit for you. There's no difference to that.
But you can't even tell someone they're overweight anymore. It's fat shaming.
Fat
you know, I
shaming.
mean, it's fucking ridiculous. And here it is, $1.50 a dose, generic, and anyone can make it, $3,000 a dose. I'm sure that has nothing to do with anything.
And they'll give one away for free, but the other one you have to pay for it, you know?
Yeah. Oh, you're still paying for it. The only difference is you're getting taxed on the back end for it. That's all.
It's just ridiculous. I did not mean to get down the COVID pathway. Somebody asked that question, but it was just interesting that me and Jerry just had this conversation earlier today. And I just told him, I was like, man, that fucker, I've said it a million times, but he's pushing it, dude.
The answer to
go ahead.
that question, though, the question that you were voiced there right before, yes, we have.
I mean, it's a clear representation of where our society is, the divide in the society, the divide in people that are wanting to take responsibility for themselves, for their families, for their own faiths. And it's a clear divide between that mentality and the other mentality. And in a lot of cases, the other mentality is manufactured through either fear or misinformation. It's just sickening.
Well, and that's the whole reason I brought that up, because his statements in that address today was basically trying to pit people who want the vaccine against people that don't. And he basically put it out there like, it doesn't matter if they're your friends or family, go bug them about it. You know, just dividing us even more. The government's worst fear is that we all come together.
Yep, exactly. And that's what I'm trying to say. He's becoming very divisive. And here's my thing, and this is just me talking. I don't think he's in the place to do that. And here's what I mean by that. When you're in New York, you're surrounded by all the people that think like you think. When you're in North Carolina, you're in a different place. We're down south, y'all. And you're a little tiny bubble in the middle of a whole bunch of not thinking like you people. I'm just saying, you might want to really think about what you're doing.
That's kind of consistent with something Rich Elb just texted me. He talked about his niece working in the medical field here in North Carolina. She was threatened with her job if she did not get the vaccine by the 29th. They even tried bringing her son into it, saying it was required for breastfeeding mothers. He said the same day the CDC put out a video saying not to give to kids under 11. She noticed they started doing this to active employees due to the number of northern folks moving down here already with the vaccine applying for jobs. So
I mean, think about it this way. I mean, you say it's a small bubble in the middle of the community, but that's their tactics. This is what they do. They've been doing it for a long time. It's a long game. They take over population centers. They get population centers to vote their way. That gets them the votes they need for the state, and suddenly the state turns blue. I mean, that's what they've been doing. They're almost there in Texas, of all states.
But again, it comes back to like, Kranz just made a comment that's pretty funny. I'll let y'all read it, but it comes back to the same thing we talk about all the time, right? Number 1 and number 2 killers in America, hypertension and diabetes. Am I right on that, Ron? I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. That's like number 1 and number 2.
I would agree.
So we have this fat ass person, blood pressure through the roof, diabetic, like seriously can't feel their feet, but they're worried about this virus so much that they're going to get, you know, a vaccine and are wearing the mask and they're being all retarded about everything. But then I go see them and they're not taking their fucking blood pressure medicine, or their sugar's 300 today because they fucking they ate like shit and think, oh, I got insulin. It'll just counteract itself. I had somebody fucking tell me that the other day. It was ridiculous. They said, oh, I'm fine now. I can eat whatever I want. I got the pills.
Right.
Like, no, that's not how this works.
Or it's like the Karens at the convenience store that get on you about wearing a mask and then they step outside and smoke a cigarette.
Yep.
Oh my God. It's like people have lost their fucking mind. And
But they're big and beautiful.
I'm trying to be better, but they're crazy. But people
They're
are
big
crazy.
and beautiful.
It's getting to
fat.
the point. Yeah, it's getting to the point though where it's getting hard for a common sense person to keep it together anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like it's getting to where people are about to lose their shit because they can't take their retardedness anymore.
The silent majority needs to fucking get loud and open their fucking mouths.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I can't believe people actually like our own 100% hook, line, and sinker believe whatever. Listen, I'm so skeptical that I don't even believe my own damn doctor half the time. Like I'm going to go and research and look up the shit that they tell me right after they tell me because I want to know what I'm getting myself into. Again, personal responsibility. People who follow blindly tend to fall in their own trap, right? That's my thing. I think you should pave your own way. You should take personal responsibility and do the right thing for you. And nobody should be telling you what that is other than you and your brain. And definitely have that conversation with your doctor. But listen, understand that not everybody thinks the same, man. I got to second guess everybody. I've been in this field long enough to know that not everybody is 100%, right? It's just like, what do you call a doctor that graduated middle of the class? Doctor. He's still doctor. Even the guy at the bottom of the class, he's still doctor. So, I mean, I'm just saying, y'all should just take that for what it's worth. Do your own damn research. I'm just saying.
Yep.
Yeah. That's right. That's right, John.
But PA is the same way. PA is being run basically. And it's the same thing. If you look up a map of the counties during the election, this last one and the one before, and see where the votes were. All you see are these little blue pockets amongst the sea of red. I mean, it's just the way it's been working.
Well, the problem with that though is even when we know that little dot is wrong, we're not doing anything about it. We're just letting it be.
Yep.
Mike, next step, I'm calling your wife, bro.
She can stitch you up after she cuts you.
Or not.
I will say he is not lying there. She did threaten to cut him.
She'll cut him and say, "Hey, go get Jerry."
I got my sutures.
Jerry,
y'all believe
she got us some gear too, guys. I'll I'll elaborate on that later.
Can y'all believe there's only 10 minutes left?
It goes quick,
Where
man.
did it go tonight?
I think Mike's wife's
All
getting the call.
Mike, I'm calling your wife, Mike. Putting you back in timeout, fucker.
Back in timeout. Poor Mikey. He can still see everything. He just can't respond to it. Is that how that works?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's timeout. It's timeout.
Is that-
That's where he belongs, dude. The dude's like,
You
He's
couldn't
a
have deleted
perpetual
it.
class
think-
clown.
I think he's got a 7-year-old, and I'm pretty sure his kid's probably more mature than he is at this point.
It's ridiculous. I have to have him with his wife. Otherwise, you can't control it. Like, he needs
Oh,
his
yeah.
mama there to, like,
Yeah,
Prepared Patriot sponsored shock collar.
yeah.
that's,
So you
dude, I could get behind that. Cattle prod.
You guys,
Sure.
you want to talk about the Leo class a little bit? That's our next thing on
Yeah,
the list.
so-
We've been doing a bunch of prep on that one.
We actually finally got some officers that signed up for the class. A couple of good dudes. One of them's a personal friend who I wasn't thinking was going to be able to make it, but he's going to be able to make it. And I'm stoked about that. So we're looking forward to that. We're going to get, I think we've narrowed it down to 8 officers, right? We got
Yeah.
8 coming. So we're going to have 8 officers coming. We're going to do our version of a medical class, which is going to be scenario based and getting the 5Bs and some other things involved. And we're going to give them all
That's a great gear.
Riker, a Riker nylon gear ankle first aid kit, and then the Recon medical trauma kit to go with it. So they get at least a base start on what they need to be doing and working with on that stuff. Again, it's not the end all be all, but it's at least giving these guys a start and maybe a little bit of not an ego boost, what's the word?
Confidence.
Well, yeah, but I was looking for a slap on the back. Good job, guys. You know what I mean? That's what I'm looking for.
Congratulatory.
Well, I'm thinking we might do a whole video on it, but I'm gonna go ahead and publicly announce it here. The idea that this started with, and my rant, the resource officer from the school I'm at is not on that list. I'm not gonna name names, but I can tell you.
And that's sad because he was one of the first ones you offered it to, right?
Yep.
And here's the other part. And I don't want y'all to think that I'm talking trash about cops because I used to be one and I love those guys. I think they do a hard ass job and they're not respected enough and they're not paid enough and it's a hard fucking job. However,
100% agree.
I will say it is really difficult. And when you're going through 3, 4, 5 departments to get 8 dudes to come out to a free class where they also get a completely decked out kit and it costs them nothing.
Yep.
It's just time.
Put those fuckers
that's
through
sad.
the ringer.
It's sad. It really is sad. I hope, here's the thing. I hope what we did though, is we get the ones who are most deserving, who are most committed, who will use what we're giving them. Cause that was the point. You know, we could have easily just donated this stuff and said, here you go. We just appreciate you guys. That's what I was looking for a minute ago. Slap appreciation, right?
There you
A
go.
way to give them a little vote of confidence that we're backing them up and we want them to do well. But it comes down to, man, like getting a cop to train is tough. And I get it. Like they have busy schedules and it's hard, but listen, if you want it bad enough, you'll figure it out. You'll make the time to be there and good cops make the time. They do. So the good thing about it is we got 8 that potentially are coming that are wanting to be there. So that's big. That's a big deal.
That
means
that's everything because otherwise
Yeah.
it's just mandatory service and they're not going to learn
That's
anything.
right. And that's just sad. It's just sad that, you know, we had to go through 4 or 5 departments to find 8 willing and capable bodies. Here's what I'm going to say, and we might just leave it at this for tonight. That's probably how many good officers are in there anyway. And that's the sad part.
Yep.
You probably got a handful of dudes that are on point. Like, those are the dudes that should be in leadership positions. Those are the dudes
Yep.
that should be leading the pack. Those are the warriors. That's the 10% we talk about. It's those
Yeah.
guys that go above and beyond that train themselves because they know that what they're getting ain't good enough. And if you guys knew, especially y'all that have been through our training, if you knew what they got before they got on the road and were asked to do a fucking hard job, it would blow your mind. It would blow your mind how little their training really touches on what they need to do.
We had a couple cops stop by because my mom had an incident. I was probably like 2 years ago. And there was a really young guy. I mean, this kid, maybe 20 years old, probably 19. And he was carrying medical. And I said to him, I said, hey, I pointed out and said, hey, kudos, man. The older cop made fun of him for it. He had a guy with him that was probably on the force, so he's probably in his 40s. And I pointed out to the kid, hey, good on you for carrying your medical. And the older cop kind of chided him for it. I mean, that's the reality of the mentality of it, which is a fucking damn shame.
So John says, I wish cops would check their ego. In Michigan, the motor carriers, truck cops aren't allowed to carry guns off duty without a CPL. So they took my CPL class. They all got an eye opener. Yeah, here's the thing I would tell you. The cops that come and take training, that know the guys that we know that are in the training community, they're shocked. They're shocked at how much you know and how well you know it. If you're taking any real good classes, now I'm not talking about concealed carry at some Joe Blow on the shop. That's not what I'm talking about. If you're taking real training, you blow these guys' minds on the street. And I've told a lot of our guys that have been through all of our classes, I would have rather had some guys that we've trained with and girls that we've trained with guarding my back, having my six, than I would have a lot of the officers that I was working with. I'll just leave it at that. It's the mindset. It's the person that is willing to go above and beyond to put the time in to do the work. And yeah, Crans, I could get it, man. I could see them getting the eye opener. I could see it blowing their mind. But a lot of them, man, they just don't get it.
So we have about 5 more minutes left. Let's Max, give us your parting words of wisdom.
Parting words of wisdom.
Y'all asked for
me?
that.
No, I know one. Mexican food is always the right answer.
It is always the right answer. Mexican food is never the wrong answer. And that spread that Patrick's wife put out, holy shit, that was awesome. That was awesome.
I'm glad you liked it, man. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
If
It's just nice to know
you're going to eat well.
It's just nice to know that, family isn't necessarily just people you're related to, it's people by blood. There's a family that you choose. And it's good to know that family exists in more than one place in the country, And you guys, what you're doing with that community, that group that was there at that class and that core group that you have is amazing. And if you have the ability to train with you guys and they're not doing it, you're wrong.
We appreciate that, man. And I'll tell you, it's been a labor of love, but it is made up, like you said, of the people that are here. We couldn't, like, even the class that you were at, like, we couldn't have done that class without the help of some of our all-stars, man. Like the people that put the time in, and they're noticed, and we thank them often, but I don't think they realize how important they are to it. Ariel and Kish and Don, Doc Ron's kids were there and helping out in class and stuff, man. Like there's a whole community that's there. And that's what our company's been all about from day one, building that community. Those like-minded people that care enough to fight with each other and sharpen each other up to be better at what they are, man.
Yep.
So Max, man, we appreciate you so much coming down and being a part of that class. Really, dude, it means a lot to us that you were willing to travel that far to be down here. And we appreciate you very much. And,
I'll be back.
And guys, again, thanks so much, Doc, for the class. It was awesome.
Sir, I enjoyed it.
Until next week, guys, we appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out with us. Oh, if you haven't already, go check out the YouTube video with me and Max. We review combat arts training, the nut ruck or fanny pack. It was a decent video. Forgive the audio. We didn't have time to re-record it, and my dumbass self left the audio too high, so there's some clicking in it, but it's still good enough. It's good enough.
It could have been me, man. You let me touch the audio, and I screw that shit up all the time.
I'll take the blame, dude. I always do.
Bam,
It was my
bam.
fault. I should have double checked it
Bam,
anyway
bam.
again.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was a good video. We've got a couple more coming out. We will be doing a video soon on the Smith & Wesson Shield Plus. Is that right?
Yeah.
Is it the Plus?
Plus.
I don't, so I don't get super like into the weeds on that shit, but it's pretty good. It's a good video. It'll be coming up. And then also we did one on building a medical bag. Me and Max went through kind of some of the things in a medical bag. So you'll be seeing Max's medical bag build on camera and check out some of the things he does. Great stuff in there on both of those videos. Guys, we appreciate you watching tonight. Max, again, thanks for being on here. Thanks again, Doc, for taking the time, man. I know it's long, hard days when you're doing 24-hour shifts and stuff. We appreciate you so much. And you too, Jerry and Matt, man, y'all are the business itself, and y'all are the backbone of the team. We appreciate you very much. Guys, we'll see you next week.
Yay.
If you're watching back, check us out, preparepatriotnc.com for our schedule. And you got something you want to say, Jerry?
I'm good, man. Good night, everybody.
All right. Good night, guys.
Yep. Don't forget to carry smart, carry safe, be prepared. Good night and thanks.